If you feel that you are not getting what you expected from your CRM solution, the return on investment is not there, and the return on effort is just completely out of kilter, you are not alone. Globally, 85% of CRM projects are deemed to have failed. And that 85% is costing a lot of money. Money to businesses worldwide and here in Australia. So you may be wondering why this happens. The biggest reason is that a CRM project sits between business and technology. So the project, and particularly the project team and project executives and sponsors, are walking that knife edge between the business, who've got their wants and needs and ideas, and technology with its functionality and its limitations. And you have got to stay on that knife edge and deliver with both. Another massive problem in these projects is assumptions. And there are lots and lots of assumptions that feed into this project failure. One of those assumptions is that users will just adopt that new technology and happily use it and even fall in love with it. Another commonly held assumption is that all of that data that you've built up over however many years can just be sucked into your new CRM solution. It will fit in, it'll be nice, and people will continue to use it. A third assumption, which probably causes even more problems, is that the technical team already know all of the features of the technology that you're putting in, and therefore can use the frills and fancy bits of the technology to solve your particular problems. And none of those are true. In fact, we've all heard about assumptions. Assumptions make an ass of you and me and our CRM projects. CRM projects are actually quite simple because it's just a matter of following a series of steps. But that doesn't mean that they are easy. Simple is not the same as easy. The challenges come because right the way through these projects, we are dealing with people. Whether those people are our end users, our technical team, our customers, or a whole range of other stakeholders, but they are people. So talking about people, who, or to be more precise, what skills do you need on your CRM bus? There's quite a few of them. Definitely, we need the people with a deep technical knowledge of the technology that you have chosen to implement. And they themselves come in a wide range. We need people who can manage the data. All of that data that has accumulated in your business, that's got your business to where it is now, that data needs to come into CRM. And to get it into CRM, it will probably need some manipulation. We need people with those skills. We need the project sponsor, the person that's going to champion our project to the rest of the business, who's going to keep the business informed of the progress of the project. We need testers. Those testers often get forgotten, and the testers are the people who will make sure that the implementation that we're delivering is the implementation that the users want. We need trainers, people who can educate our end users so that they are confident that they can use this solution not to meet your goals, but to meet their goals from the business. And last but not least, we've got our end users. We want those to come along on our CRM bus and to be happy with where we're taking them. We need to educate everybody. There's a lot more education needed for a successful CRM project than end user training. End user training in many ways is the simplest. This is how we teach our users how they can use the system to do their job and to be supported by the system. But as well as that, we need to train our technical team so that technical team have the breadth of understanding of the technology that we have chosen to implement. I vividly remember a CIO that I worked with a couple of years ago who honestly thought that every problem could be solved by adding a field. And this is certainly not the case. We also need to train our testers so that they know both what they are testing and how they should do that testing. After all, none of us were born knowing how to test a software solution. And the final piece of education that we need is the ongoing education after go live. And that is for two groups of people. That is for broadening the skills of our existing users, but there's another group of people who too often get forgotten. And they are people who join your team well after go live. They also deserve to be trained so that they are confident in using the CRM solution in your organization. We also must always remember to scope our project. Scoping of the project defines the project, and scoping is one of the key ways that you will keep yourself out of that 85% failure rate, because you will know that your CRM project was designed to deliver this, this, and this. And if it delivers this, this, and this, it is a success. And when we do that scoping, we should look at a number of different aspects of the business. The first of those is what are the KPIs or the key performance indicators of that project. The second is what are the business processes that the CRM solution will be helping us with or supporting us. The third, and this needs to be considered upfront, although it's often forgotten, is what reports do you need the CRM to give you? What outputs? And those may be dashboards, views, reports. They might even be documents that use CRM data as part of their makeup. We then need to look at who are our users? How technology literate are those users? What roles do they perform? What security do we need to put in place so that the system is safe for those people to use and the business is safe? Another of my clients is in court right now because an ex-employee exported a lot of data and is now set up in competition with the ex-employer. That is not something I'd like to see happening to you. So all of those things we do as the scope of the project. And while agile is a great way to implement a CRM solution, using the agile methodology does not mean you don't need to scope. In fact, if anything, you need to do more scoping with agile than with the traditional waterfall method. So scoping keeps you out of that 85% failure rate. We also need to think about the data, and I've touched on data a couple of times already. By the time any organization looks to implement their CRM solution, they typically will have a large volume of data. And some of that data is what we call high velocity data. That's data that is changing all the time. So think of the phone calls that you need to make, the phone calls that you have made. They may be recorded, and that is high velocity data. We've also got data that has a much lower or even zero velocity. In other words, data that doesn't change at all or changes infrequently. Within all of that data, we've got some of it that is still correct right now. And we've got other data that for whatever reason is not correct. And then we also need to look at how the different types of data need to be brought into our CRM solution. It is definitely not a one size fits all. And finally, you've got to have the ongoing support. That support takes a whole range of forms, but in essence, you've got to keep your users happy so they continue to use the CRM solution, and the CRM solution grows with you, with them, and with the company. I'm Gill Walker, your CRM Success Catalyst, and if you think I could help you with your CRM success, please drop me an email to gill@opsys.com.au.